Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome to another locomotive review. Today, as you can probably see, we're looking at a Bachmann locomotive, and a lot of you guys say I should look at more Bachmann locos, and you're right, of course I should. So that's what we're going to do today. Now I saw this particular one on Hatton's and I think it was £89 or something like that, and I just thought to myself, you know, I've got the Stania Class 5, the Black 5, but I didn't have the standard Class 5, which is what this one is, so I thought for £89 I'll try it out. Well, it's my kind of price anyway, so we'll see if it's my kind of loco as well. Okay, let's have a look at the box then. Obviously, yeah, this is the Class 5 460, and on the end of the box you can see that this is product code 32-509, standard Class 5 MT 73109, which is the running number. BR Black, early emblem, and then you've got 8 DCC, which means the 8-pin DCC chip, if you wanted to convert it. On the back of the box we do have a little bit of information here, so feel free to pause that to read it if you want, but obviously I will give you some of my own in just a second. Okay, let's get this one out then and see what it's like. I'll just take that outer sleeve off for you and take the block of ice out. There we go, and out falls the paperwork, so I will show you that very, very briefly. Alright, first of all we have this, which is the exploded diagram. Always quite interesting to look at those, I think. So yep, you can see how all the locomotive goes together and whatnot. Very useful if you fancy taking it apart. I don't know, rather you than me. And yeah, this is the Collectors Club thing, and also a little bit of hints and tips and maintenance and whatnot. So, yep, that is quite useful again, but let's get the loco out then. Okay, let's take this sleeve off. There we go. And the first thing you'll notice is the detail pack, so I'll just take this off, it is stuck down. There we go, and inside the detail pack you can see that what looks like steps, a vacuum pipe, some other different pipe work. None of it is painted or anything, it is just in the sort of boring black colour, but that's fine by me, it's probably how it was in real life. So obviously you could fit those if you were brave enough, and I'm not personally, but never mind. Okay, let's get this one out then. And the first thing you'll notice is that the tender isn't actually connected to the locomotive, so there aren't any tender pickups here, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, I suppose we will see if it affects the performance any. So here's the tender anyway. Yes, this is the BR Black tender, of course, with the early crest. Looks to be a very lovely detailed model, that does, and we'll see that more in just a second. Okay, let's get the loco then, the beautiful standard 5. There it is, number 73109, really, really beautiful, and for the price, already I'm very impressed. It seems to be quite heavy, it's got some good weight to it, and again, I'll show you this in a little more detail in just a second, but first of all, here's a little bit of history on the class. So the standard Class 5 was introduced in 1951, and based on the 1934 Black 5 design of William Stania. The standards were very slightly different though, featuring a higher running board and a self-cleaning smoke box, making them more efficient and easier to service. This example, number 73109, was built at Doncaster in 1956, withdrawn in 1964 and scrapped in 1965, having only served for 8 years and 8 months. 172 of these locomotives were built between 1951 and 1957, only 5 of which still survive today. So there she is then, the standard Class 5 up against the white background, and you know, for £89 or whatever it was, I really wasn't expecting to get a very well detailed model. I was expecting probably just to get, you know, an ancient Bachmann tooling that wasn't much good for modern railways. Well, to be honest, I was totally impressed when I first got this, because it really is a very, very nicely built, nicely detailed model indeed. The only two giveaways really that this is a cheaper model was the fact that of course there isn't any tender pickups, which is a shame, and I believe that most modern locos should have that now, and secondly the fact that you don't have any painted interior cab. But you know, if you want those things, I suppose you've got to pay for them, and £89 to me is still fantastic value for this. So let's have a look at the locomotive first then. If we look at the lining on this loco, on the boiler of course, you can see it has that double banded red lining with the black in the middle, and that looks absolutely superb. It really is faultlessly applied. And of course there's a lot of lining on the whole model really. You've got across the running board here the red lining. Around the side of the cab you have the red and grey lining, which is quite unusual, and I really like that. And of course on the side of the cylinders here you also have the red lining. The front facing cab windows also have gold lining on them, which is very, very nice indeed. And you do have a fair amount of printed detail too, so the running number here, 73109, very nicely applied. And then just underneath the smoke box door you have the badge as well. I'm too far away to read what it says, but I'm almost certain it will be legible. So obviously a terribly nicely painted model. To say it's just a BR black, it is very, very nicely painted. And as you can probably tell by now, there are a lot of separately fitted parts. You have a whole wealth of pipework just in front of the cab here, which goes all along the running plate and towards the smoke box, which is really fantastic to see, and it is terribly finely detailed as well. Up on the top you have a pair of safety valves there, which are separately fitted, as you're probably not going to be too surprised to hear. Round the front, I suppose that will be a separately fitted smoke box dart, and you also have the running number on the smoke box door. And down on the buffer beam you can see a nicely detailed buffer beam, and yes, it does have sprung buffers. So again, for a cheaper model, it really is impressive to get sprung buffers. So overall, as I'm sure you can tell, a very, very beautifully detailed locomotive. Everything about it, even the linkage look, is just really fine scale and really, really beautiful looking. I was especially impressed by the tender on this one. As you can see, first of all, it does have the red and grey lining, which again I find really unusual but really, really smart. And of course the early British Railways crest on the side there, which again is a nice touch. But other than that, look at all the detail, look at the rivets on there. It really is a beautifully riveted tender. The underframe detail is fair as well. You can see under there there's a water scoop, which is quite nice. And there's a lot of riveting and moulded detail on there too. Around the back it's equally impressive. You've got lots of printed badge work here. Let's see, it's a Brib tender, 1291 I think that says. Water capacity 4725 gallons, if my bad eyesight serves me properly. And then you have the separately fitted lamp irons and what is clearly a separately fitted ladder on there as well. In true Bachmann style, the coal load is a little bit glossy and shiny, but I'm sort of used to that now, so it's not a complaint, it's just something to note. If you want total realism, you probably want to replace that, but it isn't a massive issue. Okay, so I hope that is a good overview of the detail. I think just looking at it, you can get a good sense of just how detailed this is, but I'm not going to look at the detail for any longer because I don't want you all to fall asleep. So without any further ado, let's get her onto the track and see if she performs properly. Okay, let's try it. Alright, so there she is folks, the beautiful Bachmann 5MT on the line, ready to be tested. She's about to be coupling up to 5 of these, I suppose, are they Mark 1s? I'm not actually sure. They're blood and custard coaches anyway, 5 of those, so hopefully that should look quite nice. I thought they were quite reminiscent of LMS coaches, which is why I chose them, sort of. Then on the middle line we have the standard class 4, which is a 260 locomotive. And she has some empty wagons, quite a few of those, and she's pulling from the front, so I thought that would be quite interesting. Hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that for a change. And then on the inner line, yet another standard standard design. This time, of course, the standard class 9, the 9F Evening Star, with some chocolate and cream coaches, quite a few of those, so it should be a good pulling test for her. And then elsewhere on the layout there are some other standard designs, except one of them. One of them isn't a standard design, so see if you can figure out which one that is. And also for the experts, there is another one that is technically, arguably not a standard design, but see if you can figure out which one that is and why. Either way, let's get on to the 5MT then, and let's try her at slow speeds. So I'm going to power her up a little bit, just very gently to start with, and hopefully she is set to go forwards. And she's about to cross over an express point. Wow, she has actually... Is she moving? It's hard to tell. Yes, she is actually moving. Wow. Well, I can't hear any noise coming from her whatsoever. But you really couldn't hope for any better performance, in terms of slow speeds at least, than that. You turn it up a bit, and the front wheel is just going over the frog of the express point now. The front driving wheel, I mean. Yep. Absolutely no hesitation there. Okay, let's try backwards. Wow. You know, if that had tender pickups, I would have to give that full marks in terms of performance. Because she's quite heavy, so she's very likely to pull a lot, isn't she? Wow. Stunning. Okay, let's go a little bit quicker then this time. There we go, very, very good. And back into the coaches. Oh, how exciting. It's just amazing to see a Loco run as good as this. There we go, a little bit rough onto the coaches there. Is she in focus? Yeah, just about. Right, let's get this gorgeous Loco running forwards then. And I can't remember whether I've already changed the direction or not. And yes, I did, so that's good. And no hesitation with 5 coaches. I suppose you wouldn't expect her to hesitate with 5 coaches, but there they go nonetheless. Okay, let's get the standard class 4 up and running. Here she goes then. Nice and gentle, if we will. Yes, look at that. Perfect. Keep her nice and slow, in fact. A bit slower than that. Okay, last but not least, the 9F. Off she goes. At quite a speed. There we go, managing those coaches perfectly. Okay, enjoy the running session then, and see if you can spot some of the other standards. Okay, and now for my ratings on the standard class 5 then. First of all, detail 8 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant detail. No painted cab, but that isn't too much of a big deal here. Performance 8 out of 10. She does run absolutely fantastically, and I must admit she doesn't have any problem over the express points. However, I would have been more comfortable if she did have those tender pickups. Character 8 out of 10. I did actually see a standard class 5 a few weeks ago, so yes, I can vouch for the fact that Bachmann got this spot on. Build quality 9 out of 10. I must say it is a very, very well built model, and it feels sturdy, which is exactly what you want. Value for £89, that has to be 10 out of 10, so full marks there, which gives her overall 8.45 out of 10, and putting her into the ranking, that puts her 5th, just above the schools class and just below the L1 tank. There we go, the 9F Evening Star, looking absolutely gorgeous. And for those of you who like to see something else other than the Evening Star, I do have an udder one now, which you should enjoy if you'd like that. I just wanted to say udder, to be honest. I'm sorry about that. She really is stunning though, isn't she? Just look at that. And she does really suit those coaches too. I think they look fantastic with her. And of course she was a bargain as well, so that just sweetens things up a little bit, doesn't it? Alright then folks, well that will just about do it for today's review. I do hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Yeah, I don't know, there's just certain locos that get me excited and this is one of them. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please don't hesitate to leave a like or even a comment on the video, because I do love it when you get in touch. And also, if you'd like to, you can check out the Facebook or Twitter pages, which are at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you on there, but for now, thank you very much for watching once again, and don't forget, if you'd like to, you can have your name or photograph put up on the Wall of Fame. Just send in your drawings, artwork, photos, whatever you like, to samstrains@outlook.com, and I will print those out and put them up for you. And perhaps you'll see yourself or your photo in one of the videos. Anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers everybody.